Wow. Wow. Hi, everybody. Hi. Let's see. I'm starting approximately 8 minutes late. This is not my normal background, as you can tell. Wow. It's been quite an interesting few days here in Oklahoma City. The snow has been beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful snow. It's not the snow's fault. It's the fault of an area that is not prepared for cold temperatures. It's really an issue of the cold temperatures and a power grid that's not equipped to handle such things. I mean, I grew up in Iowa. I lived there for 27 years. This weather that we're having in Oklahoma City right now, I understand it's very strange for this. I mean, record breaking. This is like never happened here. Or like 1899 apparently was the last time it was this cold. But to come from a place where this is the norm in the winter, I mean, it's colder than usual, but it's not like so far beyond, what we experience there. And then to be in a place where there's a threat of people's power being cut off. People have had to have their power cut off for an hour at a time. Yesterday they were doing rolling power outages. I knew 2 people who lost it for an hour, but apparently there are people in other parts of the state who, as of last night, had been without power for 6 hours on a record-breaking cold day with temperatures below 0. So I've been doing everything I can personally to conserve energy, unplugged as much as I could, not using lamps, not using my television, just bare necessity, a lamp in the dark. Even I've been using a lot of my battery-powered lamps and lanterns. I really like to hold the lantern like this, like I'm in a lighthouse or something. It's cute, isn't it? So the reason why I had to rearrange my setup is because yesterday, in an effort to conserve energy, I moved everything into the warmest room in my house, which is one of the bedrooms. My office, my food, my coffee's in here because they want you to keep your thermostat at the highest at 68. And I could actually set it to lower than that. And this room that I'm in is perfectly warm for me. So I've just been doing everything in here. So I had to reset up everything. I got up early to do it, and it still wasn't quite enough time. And so that's why I'm skating in a little bit late. But another timer started. I just didn't even realize it. Okay. So that's where we are. This is where we are right now, and we're doing our best. And we are conserving energy as best we can. So I'm in a room. I've just got 2 lamps on, and then my little lantern again. Computer is not even plugged in. I was kind of like charging it intermittently yesterday because I need it to work. That's kind of a non-negotiable. But let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Let's not allow the circumstances to distract us from our goals as much as possible. You're like, I'm not in your circumstance. And I'm like, well, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Because I know that this is impacting, here in the U.S. at least, there's a 14-state energy consortium. Power pool is what they call it. I've never heard of before. So it's affecting quite a few people here. Okay, and with that, we've got our 10-minute timer. We will overcome the circumstances, and we're gonna sprint for 10 minutes now. I don't know what your project is. My project will be getting my head on straight in the midst of upheaval. By the way, it's going to be like 60 degrees here in Oklahoma City in less than a week. That is a big difference from the north. That will probably, I think we're going to get above zero. It's going to start warming up tomorrow, I think. So this should all, probably by the time I do my live stream on Friday, this should all be normalized. Allie, hello. Hello, my friend. How many lights are you running right now, Allie? I have 2. And my lantern, Allie, is also in Oklahoma City. All right, I'm going to pop into this 10-minute sprint, and let's do it. It's going to start. I really got into that dance. I really did. Oh, let's see. In the chat, I'm chatting with Allie Deatherage, a friend of mine who's also in the Oklahoma City area. Allie hosts writing sprints in the central time zone in the United States, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday mornings. And we are both experiencing the same stuff that's happening. I don't know, Allie, might be good to do some research on that. I heard, this is so local. This is such a local conversation. I actually heard it's really hard, but to let your faucets open them up more than just a drip, let them run a little bit more. It's so hard to waste the water, and I have no idea what my water bill is going to be, but I've read a few articles from plumbers saying like, it's better that you waste far less water doing that than if your pipes break, right? And it's less expensive than fixing that. So you might consider that to let more of the warm air in. And are you letting them run in, like every single faucet run? This is the advice that I've heard. Excuse me, and so far, so good. It's crazy. Let's check the temperature. It's already warmer today. It's already warmer. It's 11 degrees right now. It was 11 degrees below zero yesterday when I checked around the same time. So see, things are already looking up. See, it's going to be a high of 19 today. That is a vast improvement. We are not going to be below zero. And so things are gonna look up, and it's not going to require high of 22 tomorrow. This is the progression. 22 degrees tomorrow, 36 degrees on Saturday, 50 degrees on Monday, 60 degrees on Tuesday. And that's winter in Oklahoma. I look at my hometown in Iowa, and it's 11, 14, 27, 30. Let me tell you, Iowans, when it gets up to 37 degrees next Tuesday, Iowans are going to be like, woo, let's go to the beach. Let's go to the lake, because those are the only kind of beaches in Iowa. People are going to be walking around in their sweatshirts. Everybody's going to be talking about how nice and warm it is with a high of 37 degrees. That's a nice temperature in February, even if you haven't spent all this time below zero. So it's so funny. That's quite a big difference. That's a warm up for Oklahoma of like approximately 70 degrees in a week's time. Okay. Well, I dropped my phone. It's just going to stay there now. All right. Anyway, I worked on my bullet journal the past few days, just I guess with everything going on. I neglected my bullet journal, and I saw my level of, it's just been 2 days. I saw my productivity level go down. I saw my focus go down. I still got things done, but I didn't feel like anchored in something, anchored in some organization. And that really made a difference for me. So I took just that time, just a few minutes to work on that. And I realized, oh, actually, like I'm in a pretty good position with everything to get things accomplished today. I just thought of something else I better add. Done. Okay. Didn't want to forget. But now I'm going to switch over to working on, excuse me, morning voice. I'm going to switch over to working on podcast episodes. I finished the main content of a podcast episode yesterday. Excuse me. It's dry, it's the morning, and also my scones are nice and crumbly, but sometimes, kind of crumbly in my throat. Is that a saying? I don't think so. So I got done, the main content of the podcast done. So now I need to just write the feature and move on to the next one. Pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and get this 25-minute. Nope, that's not it. Did you hate it when the screen jumps? Oh boy. It's a groovy StreamYard tune. I am using StreamYard for this. What was I saying? Yeah, you try to click on something and the screen jumps and you're like, oh, come on. All right. I get that crumble throat feeling. Thank you for affirming that, Allie. I appreciate it. All right, let's get started. I'm just gonna sip my coffee until our little starting tune starts us off. love that. Hello, everybody. We got Allie. We got Helene. Helene from Germany is here. Welcome, Helene. I'm glad that you were able to make it to one of my live streams. Helene and I have met in other live streams through chat. Super fun to have you here. CB, that's what I'll call you, CB394. CB, good morning. Where in the world are you located, CB? Let's see. During that sprint, I was actually doing more administrative stuff. I pulled up my podcast episode, figured out what I was going to do for the feature, but then I've got a grid here of different steps I need for a bunch of different episodes, and I'm still just in that writing phase. And then I have an actual online tracker where I track a bunch of, as you do with a tracker, a bunch of different information. So I kind of started filling that in. That makes me feel good to organize that information so that I can really see where I am. And then I decided to go another direction with an episode that's coming up. And that direction is to interview some friends to catch up with them. Now, Allie is on here. Allie is a past guest of the Making Your Impact podcast. But Allie's not going to be included in the catch up with the friends because Allie has a whole episode to herself coming up shortly thereafter about her book that recently came out, Sort by Season. I highly recommend you pick that up. A quick and encouraging guide to decluttering your home. That's not actually the tagline, but it's close and it definitely has some keywords. But no, I think this is going to be some pals who've been on the show in the past, and all of whom I was listing them out. I'm like, oh man, I know that all 5 of these individuals have made strides. One of my friends who said that she, probably exactly a year ago, actually said that one of her goals for the year was to boost her a lifelong decluttering habit. All right, thanks. Was to really build her business. And oh my gosh, has she built her business? It's a side business of making cakes. It's really taken off. Another friend who's been on the show before published a book of poetry. My friend Anna, who lives in South Africa, started doing online teaching in addition to her many other jobs as a mom, running a farm, being a missionary, running a business with her husband as missionaries. She's a busy lady. Another one of my friends is an artist, and I know that her art career has really taken off. She's taken great strides to build that. She just got hired to paint a huge mural in a church in like a really long hallway. It's huge for her. There's one friend, though, that I have not kept up with as much during the pandemic. The only guy who's ever been on the show, my friend Gary. I know he's doing stuff because I can see on social media, but that will be an actual surprise to find out some of the details on that. These are all friends, or it's been a year or more since they've been on the show. 5 friends. And in the month of May, I'm doing a theme of 5. 5 tips, 5 ways to do something, 5 tools for something, 5 friends. Okay, let's check out our chat here. CB is in the UK. Nice. We've met a few people from the UK. CB, here are the places that I have been in the UK. Are you ready for my list? I love talking about traveling. I have visited London, I have visited Liverpool, Leeds, and then from Leeds, I went Leeds, York, and Whitby. I have visited Edinburgh, just out of my head. I visited Edinburgh, and then I have spent a couple weeks in Northern Ireland, in County Down, if you're familiar, and then also in Belfast. Are you close to any of these places? some of it was on a trip and some of it like on a like little vacation with family. And then I had a friend who lived in Leeds, who still lives in Leeds, and a friend who lives in Northern Ireland. And that is how I got there. Also spent some time, a month in Ireland, which is not part of the UK, which I thought that I would just toss it on there. And Helene. Helene is in the Bavaria region of Germany, I'm pretty sure. Right, Helene? Just such a beautiful part of the world. If I'm not careful, I'll spend I'll spend the whole day in Europe in my head. I gotta rein it in. Yeah, if you feel like disclosing any more details about the area you're in CB, I'd welcome it, but I also understand if you don't want to. All right, so I have identified a quote by Leslie Knope in Parks and Recreation, if you're familiar with that show. I have a regular feature in my podcast where I spotlight, you are in Glasgow. Nice. Okay, very cool. I think I pronounced that correctly. Glasgow. It's Glasgow, right? That's how you would say it? And yes, Bavaria. Okay. So in a feature of my podcast, a regular feature, I spotlight a quote from one of my favorite fictional characters of all time, Leslie Knope from the show Parks and Recreation. The show, my podcast is what's called Making Your Impact. And of all the fictional characters that I can think of, Leslie Knope is a character who was constantly driven by the drive to make her impact in the world, from small ways to big ways. It's just a character that I have found hugely inspirational for me. So I have identified my quote, and now I'm making sure that I have the details so that I can properly cite the show, the episode, the writer, the director, and now I'm going to write up a little thing about it. Oh gosh, I started late this morning because I had to do so many rearrangements to my setup because of electrical grid issues that we are having in my area of the world, which is Oklahoma City. Just the past couple of days we've had it, so I had to conserve power in order to, whenever I say I had to conserve power, it makes me think of like consolidating power, like kings and queens of old. I know it's not, that's what it sounds like in my head. I had to consolidate my power. And so I moved everything into one of my bedrooms. I'll be working here in a home office all day with very few lamps. And anyway, so I got started late. So I'm running a little bit late this morning, but that's okay. I'm all good. Good to do my last 25-minute sprint of the day. Oh, we got some more from CB. Glasgow. Okay, a lot of people mispronounce it. Well, so CB, I worked in France for a year in 2005, and I had some friends who were from the UK. That's how I met my friend who lives in Leeds and in Northern Ireland. I'm gonna guess I must have just heard them say it. It has to be because I don't know otherwise. How on earth? Anyway, okay, great. So beautiful. I loved Scotland so much. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, like I said, I better get into my sprint. But now my head's gonna be in Scotland all day today, and I'm okay with that because it's such happy memories. All right, let us jump in here, and I'll think thoughts of beautiful green hills in Scotland, and we'll start our sprint. It didn't startle me, but it definitely happened sooner than I expected. Oh boy, what a lot of activity during that sprint, during that time block. I finished my section, the Leslie Knope quote. And with that episode, I just need probably a couple more minutes with it for that to be complete. So pretty cool because in just 2 weeks, not even a full 2 weeks quite yet, of doing these morning live streams. Oh, in the midst of like this electricity crisis, it's so funny. We just can't quite get to normal. Can we? We can't quite get to normal. Can't quite get there. But anyway, I wrapped up 2 podcast episodes last week that I had a good start on. Wrote an entire pretty in-depth podcast episode last week. Started on the one I'm working on today during Allie's Saturday morning sprint, and I'll wrap that up. So I'm really pleased with how it's gone, and it really has rearranged for me. It really has rearranged something in my head where usually when I first get up in the morning, I just get right to work with my job, which is also a passion of mine. It's a nonprofit that I co-founded called the Dragonfly Home, and we serve survivors of human trafficking. So I'm super passionate about this job, but I'm also passionate about this, which has become like my own little small business, which I didn't expect to happen. And so I was having trouble dedicating time to it because it seems like all my time should be dedicated to the nonprofit. But just doing this work first thing in the morning for a little while has shown me that I really can get a lot done by taking those small chunks of time. And it was kind of an experiment, and the payoff started pretty much immediately. Now, I do this on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I think my pattern for now is going to be also Friday mornings, because on Fridays, I don't work for Dragonfly. Well, when you're a nonprofit director, you work all the time. Like I have to work on Sunday, like it's different. But usually on Fridays, I'm not working on the nonprofit. And so Friday morning, I can start early and go for several hours, which is a really nice. I can get so much done. All right, let's see what all of you wonderful individuals have been saying to me. Okay, Helene, currently editing a video because you want to start a YouTube channel. That is so cool. Oh, and I think that you followed up below. Got the first few minutes of the video edited. Can someone tell me why I ramble so long in those clips? Well, Helene, I'm rambling right now. It's very easy to do. I've edited for the nonprofit, for the Dragonfly Home, so many. Well, I do have a podcast, right? So I have to edit my own rambles for that. Lots of videos for the Dragonfly Home. I get it. I will say this, it does get easier. The more you do it, the quicker you get. But yeah, editing videos is it's a lengthy process, especially when you're starting out. But it's worth it because that's awesome. Okay, CB says that he is work here. I guess I don't know he. I'm trying to see your photo. I can't. And I'm back. Everyone's gone now. Of course, everyone's gone now. The issue was Chrome. Chrome stopped on me. Chrome just quit working. So I had never signed into StreamYard using Microsoft Edge, which was like a 75-step process. But okay, everyone's gone now. That is so sad. What a day. I'm just going to wrap up my stream by saying I did everything I could to mitigate the electrical issues. So I got started late because of that. And then Chrome crashed at the end. Chrome crashed at the end of the stream. So, but you know what? Here's what happened. I got a lot done. I got to chat with some great friends who were also getting things done, and that's the entire point. So despite the technical difficulties, mission accomplished. I'm counting it as a really dumb success. Okay, cool. Now I have backup by being signed into this through Microsoft Edge. Yes, as Allie Deatherage, my lovely friend, says, of all the things. But hey, how about this? I still have electricity. I still have running water. I was able to stream for most of the time. We had great chat with our pals, Helene and CB, and two Allies. And I got an episode done. So frustrations aside, it is all okay. And I'm not going to let it color the rest of my day. No point. It can't win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win the day. Okay. And with that, if any of you see this later on, thank you so much. I was so excited to go through all of your comments and reply to all the fun things you said. And I couldn't do it. But thank you so much to everybody who joined today. It was 85% great. And everything else was tech diffs. All right, I'm going to sign off for the day. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.